Hello students, this video is on the NCRT class 5th EVS chapter number 3rd from tasting to digesting part 2nd, and it is brought to you by the Microvision Academy. Let's continue our part 2nd. So, what happens when the food enters our mouth? First of all, we chew the food with the help of our teeth, and teeth makes a fine paste of it so that we can swallow it easily. But meanwhile, our saliva is also there, which mixes the food and makes it soft. Tongue also helps us in four different ways. It helps the food to move from left to right. It also helps to mix the saliva with the food, and it also pushes back the food for swallowing, and it also helps us to taste our food. Now, what is the difference between chewing and chewing it well? For this, perform one activity. Take some food item like roti, bread, or some cooked rice. Chew it 3 to 4 times and swallow it. Did the taste change as you chewed it? No, not much. Okay, it would remain almost the same. Now take another piece or some rice and chew it 30 to 32 times. Now, was there any change in the taste after chewing so many times? Yes, there will be a change. There will be a change in the taste, and the food will begin to taste sweet. Now, why this happens? Because our food starts to get digested from our mouth itself, and the saliva which is present in the saliva only starts the process of digestion. Saliva consists of certain substances which initiate the digestion process in our mouth. So, has anybody at home told you to eat slowly and to chew well so that the food digests properly? Why do you think they say this? Yes, usually our mother always tells us to eat slowly and to chew it well. I think proper chewing is necessary for easier swallowing. It also helps to digest the food easily. Imagine you are eating something hard like a green guava. What kind of changes take place in time from the time you bite a piece and put it in your mouth to when you swallow it? I bite off a piece of guava, it is hard and may taste something somewhat bitter, but after chewing for some time, it becomes soft and tastes sweet. The saliva makes the food soft and helps in its digestion. Okay, so here we can understand that saliva plays a very important role. Now, what do you mean by digestion? So, digestion is the changed food in your stomach so that it can be used by your body. Okay, so whenever we eat the food, we are eating so that we get the nutrition from it, and we know that the food is very tasty, but it has some nutrition in it. Okay, what this food does inside our body, that we will understand. Okay, this food provides us energy when it goes inside our stomach. It gets digested, it gets converted into energy, and this energy is needed by our body to maintain the life function. Okay, so let's see how the food travels. Okay, where do you think the food must be going after you put it in your mouth and swallow it? So, the food, when it enters our mouth, it goes straight through to our stomach through a long pipe which is called the food pipe. Okay, and this whole system is known as the digestive system. The system works together to digest our food, and it gives us energy. Let us read about the digestive system. First, The food enters into a long tube which is called the food pipe. Then the food reaches the stomach. Here, the food gets broken down, it gets digested with the help of certain digestive juices, and then it enters the small intestine. And here also, the food gets even broken into more smaller and finer pieces, and in the small intestine the food gets absorbed in our blood, and rest of the undigested food material is passed on to the large intestine, and that undigested waste material which is present in the large intestine is then taken out of the body, is then excreted or is then ejected out from our body through the anus. So, this is what we call the digestive system. Many organs work together and form a system. This system helps us to digest our food. So, tell me one thing. How do you feel when you are very hungry? How would you describe it? For example, sometimes we jokingly say, I'm hungry that I could eat an elephant. Because when we are so hungry, we can really feel that we can eat anything, right? So usually when we are hungry, our stomach starts to pain and our head also starts feeling dizzy, and we feel very strange, we feel very different, okay? So when we are really hungry, that time our stomach also makes some different sound, good kind of sound, isn't it? So think what would happen if you don't eat anything for 2 days. If we do not eat anything for 2 days, you will become very weak and may fall sick. Now tell me, would you be able to manage without drinking water for 2 days? Where do you think the water that we drink goes? First of all, we are not going to manage even 1 day without water, because the water is used for various functions of the body, and the extra water is removed in the form of sweat and urine. You might be knowing that three-fourths of our body is made up of water itself, so it is very necessary for us. So now, here we are going to read about a story. Neetu was very sick and she was given glucose. So Neetu was very sick and all day she was vomiting. And she also had loose motion. Whatever she ate, she vomited. Her father gave her sugar and salt solution. By evening, Neetu was feeling weak and dizzy. When she got up to go to the doctor, she fainted. Her father had to carry her to the doctor, and the doctor said that Neetu should be admitted in the hospital. She needs to be given a glucose drip. Hearing this, Neetu got confused. She knew that during the games period in school, the teachers sometimes gave them glucose to drink. But what was a glucose drip? Doctor Auntie explained, your stomach is upset. Your body is not keeping your body is not keeping any food and water, and it has been become very weak. So the glucose drip will give you some strength quickly even without eating. This is what she explained. So do you remember that in class 4th you have made a solution of sugar and salt? Neetu's father also made this and gave her. Why do you think this is given to someone who has vomiting and loose motion? Have you ever heard the word glucose or seen it written anywhere? So, in case of vomiting and loose motion, whenever we have vomiting and loose motion, our body does not accept anything, right? It does not keeps anything. So, at that time, the amount of water, salt, and sugar these three things get very decreased in our body, and which can be really dangerous. Salt and sugar solution is given to replenish this loss, to fix this loss. Okay, now I think you would have seen these kind of packets at your home. Okay, these are the glucose packets. Okay, have you ever tasted glucose? How does it taste? So yes, I think you would have tasted glucose and it tastes sweet. Have you or anyone in your family have been given a glucose drip? When and why? Maybe you would have seen some glucose drip which has been given to your grandparents, parents, or sometimes it might be taken up by you also when you fall ill. So Neetu's teacher used to tell the girls to have glucose while playing hockey. Why do you think she did this? When we play outdoor games, we sweat a lot, which results in loss of water, salt, and sugar from our body. To replenish, to again fill this loss, we should have glucose solution. Okay, so the glucose solution which we take, it goes to the stomach and it gives energy after some time. But glucose drip which was given to the Neetu, okay, it directly goes into the blood, it directly provides the energy to the blood. Okay, so that is why instantly the person feels good, start feeling better. That is why whenever a person suffers from dehydration or gets fainted, generally they are given the glucose drip. Okay, so this is the reason why the doctor auntie gave her the glucose drip. Thank you for watching this video.